It's really fascinating when you look at this week's episode of Engage Kiss, and I mean, after episode 3, it really does paint a clear picture of why Shu appeared to be such a playboy ladies' man who, both with Kisara as well as Aino, didn't really have an emotional connection but was using them for financial support. We learn the shocking truth about his memory loss and the quest to hunt down his family's killers, and basically sacrificing whatever he needs to of himself to get there. And to see an episode like this where you have like that flamboyant, just like so knight in shining armor character who, honestly, when you kind of take a look at what he's saying, if you ignore some of the more outlandish ways he presents himself, he does have a point for an outsider looking in. It does look like a deadbeat boyfriend who's milking an innocent girl and she doesn't understand the toxic relationship that she's a part of. However, we obviously know the truth, and just given the fact that he's such a meme, it's hard not to laugh at a lot of the shenanigans that he's involved with. But he is like my unofficial favorite side character who doesn't pop up much, but when he is there, at the very least it's entertaining, even if you do want to smack him upside the head from time to time. But to look at an episode like this, where the cat is officially out of the bag for Aino, she fully now understands why this man is so, honestly just feels like he doesn't give a shit. And to see someone who all he can do is apologize because he doesn't remember anything. There's bases and like little basic things that he might remember, but he doesn't actually remember what he had or what he's done. So when people call out this behavior to him, it sounds like he was a shitty person, and all he can do is say, I'm sorry. Like, there's nothing else he can do. And then when characters call him out, like, this is all you can do is apologize, why are you even apologizing in certain cases? To see how he responds to those moments where he'll go from, just the kind of casual, nice guy trying to say sorry to just feeling like, what did I forget this time? It's so crazy because it's not like this is one of those situations where he's simply losing his memories for a stupid cause, right? It is revenge, and revenge can hit any one of us. It's just a matter of what causes us to go off the deep end for it. And seeing your entire family massacred, and the only way from what you can tell is the power of a demon, yeah, getting your memory sucked from a demon who very much feels like a demon, she very much is okay with sucking his memories out and being Shu's last girl, and she understands why the first girl, that being Aino, would be so upset with everything. But she is a demon through and through, even if she has so many nice, almost human-like characteristics. But for Shu, this is not about love, it's not about sex, it's simply about, I need to stop what caused my life to go to shit, and to make sure that no one else has to deal with it. It's definitely driven by revenge, but it's not this petty reason of like, it's not for wealth, it's not for power, it's simply to stop what happened. And I mean, given the fact that there's definitely been some hints with the sword, and the idea that what if, his sister or some of his family aren't fully dead, or is he gonna have to fight them? There's definitely that possibility for sure. It's a trope in a lot of ways in terms of thinking someone's dead, but then they become the evil you have to hunt. But with the way Engage Kiss has been going about its character writing, especially between episodes 3 and 4, I'm excited to see what they would decide to pull with that, because it's absolutely interesting to see how you can take a look at the first 2 episodes, which I found very enjoyable from action to character interactions, but she was such a playboy, or at the very least that's how it felt. And now to see with episodes 3 and 4, to really get that reflection of what it truly means for him to seemingly use characters and feel like he doesn't think about anyone other than himself. Like, how could he forget all these things that characters like Aino are bringing up? And then to really get the realization and to get more of that in this episode, it's just painful because it's not like he feels nothing. It's just in the moment, what can he do? He doesn't remember anything. He knows he cares for these people, but what is he supposed to do other than apologize? And then obviously, as we saw with him sitting on the bench in the rain, smoking his cigarette, like, he's not happy, but that's all he can do. That's what I like about this show, is that it definitely gives you the eye candy when it comes to the action, which ranges from giant Godzilla-like creatures, like in last week's episode, to this week, it's just having a very interesting... It was so fascinating because at first I thought it was just going to be like a typical slasher villain type scenario, but seemingly it was jumping through mirrors, or at the least that's how they were directing it. And it was so cool to see, but then they end it in such a brutal way where it's definitely painting death flags on characters like Aino. I'm not sure, maybe she'll be completely fine, and maybe we just have to worry about Shu. Shu's had a death flag, in my opinion, ever since the memory reveal, because even if he doesn't technically die, eventually there's going to be no memories left, and at that point, you're just going to be a vegetable. Like, eventually there will cease to be a personality, and all we can say is, like, that would be death at that point. But then you add in the whole idea that it kind of feels like this girl is about to attack Aino, or at the very least, someone is, and just adding in that fear of protecting / destroying yourself, and the fact that he can barely hold on. Hell, you see in this episode, him staring at drawings of rough sketches of things he needs to remember. The dude is living a tragic life, and it's interesting to see the two very different perspectives of what his life should be. A demon saying, I'm going to suck the memories if this is the deal he wants to continue with, I'll be his last girl, and very much knowing that she will be the death of him, and the ex, who still very much is in love, and now has the realization that it's not because he didn't love or care for her, it's because he can't remember anything, and the longer this goes on, the more of a chance there is that he won't remember her face or her name. And that's some really great writing, man. I really stick by what I said. Like, last week is the type of episode that turns a enjoyable, good show into something that just skyrockets in quality, and I'm glad to see episode 3 wasn't a fluke, and that episode 4 is continuing on that amazing trajectory that it feels like the remaining 2/3 of this show very well could be something very, very enjoyable. Now, I guess there is some rumors and rumblings online that there might be 2 cores of this, which, hey, I'm not going to be complaining if they decide to give us more than the typical 12 to 13 episodes, but I'm always gonna, just expect the lowest amount of episodes, because if we expect always the best case scenario, which for a show like this, getting 2 cores would be amazing for character development, action, slice of life, slow burn, romance, and all that. But if it is a 1 core, I can still see it succeeding. But based on the pacing, I wouldn't be opposed to it at all if they did decide to take it a bit slower with that 20 to 24 episode count, but I guess we'll see, right? Either way, I'm very much enjoying Engaged Kiss. I enjoyed it from episode 1, I enjoyed it throughout all the episodes, but it almost feels like what you typically expect around the end of a season, where something happens that's very big and it makes you say, damn, I really hope it gets a season 2, because now things are really getting interesting. Luckily for us, that moment happened at the beginning of the show, all things considered. So the fact of the matter is, Engaged Kiss to me is just getting better. I was surprised to see so much buzz about last week's episode, not because it wasn't a great episode, but it just didn't feel like it was that talked of a show. Like, I thought people enjoyed Engaged Kiss, but really weren't going out of their way to hype up episodes. So I'm glad that it did have a big moment in episode 3, so hopefully that'll get more people to catch up with it, because I do think this is a show worth having a big following, and obviously things could change over time, but as it stands, I think Engaged Kiss deserves that original tag, because it is definitely doing things we've seen before, but with a fresh coat of paint that makes it well worth watching. But thoughts down below, what did you think of episode 4? What do you think of SHU'S character? Do you agree with me about the death flags, or do you have a different interpretation? Do let me know. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.